Want to use the iPad as a recordable whiteboard? Educreations is a quick and easy way to have a whiteboard on your iPad. Within that whiteboard, students can add diagrams, commentary to pictures, and it's a simple way for teachers to go ahead and flip lessons. The benefit, really, of Educreations is the ability to turn students into teachers and allow students to showcase their work in a digital and audio format. When we first open up Educreations, we have the option to start with My Lessons or Featured Lessons. If I click on Featured Lessons, I can look at lessons that have already been created by Educreation users. As I scroll down, say I know that with my students, I'm going to begin a lesson on the layers of the heart. I could click this lesson that's created by Amanda Bell, and I could use that with my students or embed it on a website. Let's say I want to have students do some of their own creating. We go ahead and we click New Lesson. We are basically given a blank whiteboard with the ability to change colors of the ink, add text, and add images, erase stuff, and record. I can also choose what I want the background to look like. I can choose lined paper if I want students to work on their writing or spelling words. I can choose graph or coordinate grids if I wanted students to work on some sort of math concept. But let's stick with just the white paper for now. So say I have students reading a story about a character that's traveling the United States, and I want students to outline the travels of that character. I have an image that I had of the United States, and I'm going to put that on there, and students can begin their recording by clicking in the upper right hand corner and saying, for instance, let's say the character started out in Florida, so we'd put a number 1 in Florida, and then the character traveled to Texas, so we put a 2 in Texas, and maybe they traveled to Minnesota, so we'd put a 3 in Minnesota. All the while, students will be explaining what the character was doing. I can pause the recording at any time if I need to add text or add something new. But let's say we want to add a new page. We click the arrow in the right-hand corner, and how about this time we are going to go ahead and we are going to explain a science experiment. So I have students here discussing how oil and water mix, and this is a science lab that they have been working on. I could have students add some text where they might say this is their science experiment, or I could have them put some arrows where they explain this is oil and this is water, and then they could start the recording where they explain their process of how oil and water do or do not mix based on their lab reports. Another quick and easy option is to work on writing. Let's say I've taken a picture of a student's writing, and, whoops, we should put that onto a blank page. So I've taken a picture of some students writing, and I'm going to upload that right into Educreations. I could have another student give that student audio feedback by saying, you did a great job with your thesis statement. Or maybe they can highlight some text and say, I really think you need to work on this topic sentence right here. If I two-finger swipe, I get more room at the bottom, and the student can really add some sort of text and type to that other student things that they need to work on in their own writing. In addition to just being able to upload from the camera roll, students can upload things directly from the web. So they could go ahead and they could search images if they were looking for something like the United States, which is what I had looked up before, and they could go ahead and say they could upload this blank image themselves and then explain that character's story. When I'm done, I click Save Lesson, and I could title this Practice, and click Next. And I'm going to make this lesson private because really we want to encourage our students to keep the information that they're posting on the web private. And I've created a class account, so all my students' lessons go directly into this generic class account rather than having students make their own accounts. So here I have my lessons that have been created by my students. And if I create a class account as a teacher, I can quickly go in and I can view what students' work they have created. Educreations can be used for several things. As mentioned, you could work on flipping some of your lessons and putting them online. You can have students construct settings to stories. In math class, students can record their process for solving a problem. Quickly create Venn diagrams, or have students explain writing or a process. The options are really endless. If you'd like more help with Educreations, contact your iLearn specialist.